Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now onto the latest news, a warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! Whispers are turning into roars around Celtic Park, and the green and white faithful are left asking, has Brendan Rodgers really been sacked by Celtic, while no official confirmation has emerged from the club's boardroom reports from inside. Parkhead and murmurs from trusted sources around Lennoxtown suggest that something seismic may have happened behind closed doors. Brendan Rodgers, the man once hailed as the Messiah's second coming in Glasgow's East End, may have been shown the exit door for the second time in his hoops career. And this time not for the riches of the Premier League, but something far more unsettling. A potential fallout, internal conflicts, and a club potentially spiraling out of sync with its own identity. It's not the first time Celtic fans have found themselves in shock over their manager's fate. But if true, this rumor could shake the very foundation of the post-Ange era. The timing couldn't be worse either. Just weeks before the start of a new league campaign, European qualifiers on the horizon, and with fans still reeling from an underwhelming end to the last season, losing Rodgers now would be nothing short of catastrophic. Unless, of course, it's exactly what the board wanted all along. Now it's worth remembering how Brendan Rodgers returned to Celtic under controversial circumstances. After a successful yet divisive first spell, which ended in that infamous midnight departure to Leicester City, many supporters were initially skeptical about his homecoming. But results spoke louder than grudges, and Rodgers slowly rebuilt his trust with the Parkhead faithful. Still, not everything was smooth sailing. Despite capturing silverware and dominating domestically, cracks started to show. Reports of tension between Rodgers and the recruitment team had been bubbling for months. Word around the dressing room hinted at a disconnect between the manager's vision and the board's transfer priorities. Rodgers wanted proven quality European caliber players, but was allegedly handed projects and prospects instead. Add to that the whispers of discontent among certain senior players, and it paints a picture of a club that may have been simmering with internal unrest. When clubs fall short of their own lofty standards, and let's be honest, second place in Glasgow is nowhere near good enough, the manager always ends up the easiest scapegoat. Whether fair or not, Celtic's board might have just pulled the trigger, and the silence from the official channels is doing nothing to cool the speculation. Interestingly, several pundits close to the Scottish game have already weighed in, albeit cautiously. Some are pointing to Rodgers' press conferences in recent weeks, which in hindsight carried an oddly somber tone. His body language had shifted, and there was an undeniable sense of frustration beneath his carefully crafted answers. He repeatedly spoke about needing clarity on the club's direction and not settling for mediocrity, which now feels like veiled warnings to those in power. Others have noted that Rodgers had gone unusually quiet on transfer matters, leaving assistant coaches to front the media and skipping several fan engagements. All classic signs, some would argue, of a man preparing for, or being prepared for, departure. Sources close to some senior players have reportedly indicated that the mood in the dressing room has been uncertain for the past fortnight. And let's not forget, Celtic haven't made any major announcements about pre-season leadership meetings, which normally dominate the headlines this time of year. Put all this together, and it begins to feel less like wild gossip and more like a story just waiting to break. It's not just the fans and pundits who are talking. The players themselves, at least on social media, have given little away, and that silence is deafening. Normally, when a manager departs, players post tributes, thank yous, or even just a cryptic emoji or two. This time, nothing. Not a peep. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no subtle nods to change behind the scenes. That absence of reaction has fueled theories that either the squad is under strict media lockdown, or they simply don't know what's happening either. If Rodgers has indeed been relieved of his duties, it's being handled with a level of secrecy that would make MI5 proud. Alternatively, some suggest the announcement is being timed strategically, perhaps to coincide with a new managerial appointment or a major signing to cushion the blow. And there's one more factor worth considering: money. Rodgers isn't a cheap man to sack. If Celtic have made that decision, they'll need a serious financial justification. Or perhaps a clause has been triggered that allows his departure without compensation. Either way, something smells off in paradise. Adding to the intrigue is the sudden rise in betting activity around potential next managers for Celtic, a classic telltale sign that something major is afoot. Bookies rarely get caught off guard, and over the past 24 hours, odds have shifted dramatically on a handful of candidates. Kjetil Knutsen, Steve Clark, even Scott Brown have seen their names rocketing up the list. That sort of movement doesn't happen without reason. It often reflects inside information leaking out before the mainstream media can catch up. Remember when Ange Postecoglou's move to Spurs was all but confirmed before a single word was officially spoken. This feels eerily similar. There's also been increased media presence outside Lennoxtown, and journalists have reportedly been camped out near Celtic Park, hoping to catch sight of Rodgers or Dermot Desmond. Nobody's talking, but everyone's watching. Celtic fans online have exploded into debate, with forums ablaze and YouTube channels running emergency live streams trying to decode every detail. While none of this confirms anything outright, it paints a vivid picture of a footballing storm gathering just over the east end of Glasgow. If Rodgers has indeed been let go, the question then becomes, why now? The season hasn't even begun properly. No major humiliations, no shock cup exits, no public meltdowns. On paper, the timing seems baffling, but insiders believe there's more going on than meets the eye. Some claim Rodgers was deeply unhappy with the club's summer recruitment strategy, having submitted a list of targets only to see none of them arrive. Others suggest a boardroom power struggle, with key figures disagreeing on how the club should evolve post-Ange. Financial caution, youth development, long-term planning. All noble goals, but maybe not what a results-driven manager like Rodgers signed up for. Perhaps most intriguingly, there are suggestions that Rodgers was already flirting with a move back to England, and the board decided to cut ties before the media caught wind. In that scenario, Celtic may be trying to take control of the narrative, framing it as their decision rather than being left jilted. Whatever the case, the timing is as curious as the silence and Celtic supporters are being left to fill in the blanks themselves. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Let's not forget, this isn't Brendan. Rodgers' first dramatic exit from Celtic, his departure in 2019 to Leicester, was met with disbelief and fury. The banners calling him a fraud still haunt many memory banks, and yet he returned older, wiser, and seemingly more committed. So if history is repeating itself, the fan base will want to know, was this another betrayal, or has the club failed him? It's a tricky emotional landscape for supporters. On one hand, many still hold a grudge for how he left the first time. On the other, they've witnessed a regression in playing style and ambition since Postecoglou's departure, and some would argue Rodgers was the only man capable of restoring domestic dominance and competing in Europe. If this really is the end, then fans will demand answers, and not in a sugar-coated statement. They'll want to know who made the call, what the plan is moving forward, and most importantly, how the club intends to avoid another transitional mess. Because let's be clear, this could define the next 5 years of Celtic's future. Curiously, the reaction from the Rangers camp has been quiet. Too quiet. You can bet that across the city there's a keen eye on every development at Celtic Park. Michael Beale and his staff will be preparing for the season, but they'll also be sniffing opportunity. A managerial vacuum at Celtic could be the perfect opening for Rangers to seize early momentum and stake their claim in the title race before a ball is even kicked. Historically, instability at one old firm club translates into advantage for the other. And with Rangers reportedly making strides in the transfer market, the timing couldn't be better for them. This could be a major psychological win, not just tactically. Losing a figure like Rodgers right now would shake player confidence, confuse tactical plans, and open up the possibility of a slow start. All it takes is a couple of bad results in August and the pressure will mount. Rangers know this, Celtic know this, and you can bet the Celtic board are feeling the weight of every possible consequence of their rumored decision. Beyond Glasgow, the wider footballing world is also beginning to take notice. Rodgers, after all, is no small name. His stints at Liverpool, Swansea, Leicester and Celtic have built him a reputation for possession-based dynamic football and for being a polarizing figure wherever he goes. If he's available, clubs in England and even abroad will surely come knocking. Championship sides with ambition, laudable Premier League teams in search of a miracle, man, he'll have options. And if Celtic are really moving on, who they choose next will be under immense scrutiny. Do they promote from within? Do they gamble on an unknown like they did with Postecoglou? Or do they try and lure a marquee name with European pedigree? Every move from this point forward will be analyzed through the lens of whether it justifies letting Rodgers go. In the modern game, timing is everything. And if Celtic have mistimed this, they risk handing over the keys to their kingdom for the sake of a power play. But then again, maybe they know something we don't. Fans will inevitably turn their attention to the board and ask the hard questions. Where's the leadership? What's the plan? Why is communication so poor when the club preaches transparency and unity? If this was a long-term decision, why was there no succession plan? If it's a knee-jerk reaction, what triggered it? These are not easy questions, and the answers, if they ever come, might not be satisfying. One thing is certain, the romance of Rodgers' return has potentially ended in a dark and complicated divorce. The man who once inspired "this is how it feels to be Celtic" could be walking away for good. Or maybe, just maybe, this is all smoke without fire. A rumor spun out of thin air by a bored media machine, on overly eager fans desperate for headlines. But if that were true, you'd expect Celtic to have shut it down by now. The fact that they haven't speaks volumes. The fans are waiting. The press are watching. And the truth, one way or another, is about to explode onto the scene. Buckle up. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.